Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Polywine, where we like to take a deep dive into stories pulled from the media and have a fun time while breaking it down. I'm Jillian, and let's get into it. So, when we last came to you, we were discussing Hurricane Helene and how the Gulf Coast of Florida was bracing themselves for yet another path of destruction. And, well, Helene came and went, and man, was she mighty. Not only did she cause major devastation through the Florida Panhandle, she also caused an 800-mile path of destruction through 6 states that declared emergencies. And as of now, the last count was about 150 people have lost their lives due to this storm, and hundreds are still unaccounted for. So those who have been affected in the areas or by friends, family, loved ones, our hearts, prayers, thoughts all go out to you. Helene was mighty and fierce, and she caused extreme destruction and devastation in Asheville, North Carolina. Oh my God, my heart goes to you and your community. There were so many people still missing there to see, and the mudslides, the major mudslides that happened there. And that is such a beautiful historic town. It's got such a great young vibe feel to it. Very artsy. I love it there. It's for glamping and things like that. It's such a beautiful area, very artistic and artsy, I should say. And God, they got hit so hard. So my heart goes out to all of you there. To see the videos of bridges being washed away in Tennessee, I mean, it's just major devastation. So everybody who's been affected, friends, family, loved ones, our heart goes out to you all. And if there's anything that you want to do to help those who have affected, I would suggest reaching out to the American Red Cross, to FEMA, and they can help direct you wherever you may be to the proper resources to get the help that you need, and that goes to the people that get the help that need it the most. So there's no other second and third hands that are taking money from the donations and things like that. It'll go directly to those who need it. So I would start with the Red Cross, the American Red Cross, and FEMA, and maybe some local news organizations, and possibly some local governments that might be able to help as well. So hearts and thoughts go to you. And please be careful. The season is not over. The East Coast, the Gulf, all the way down to Texas, the waters are still warm. It is still season, so it's not over yet. So please brace yourself and be careful and prepared for anything that may come. Hopefully it's over, but it's not over yet. So moving past the weather, now let's get into a little bit of politics. It's about a month left to go to the presidential election. We're in the final stretch, the final sprint. So if you have not registered to vote, I'd get out. If you still have time, check your local listings, your local governments, and see if you still have availability to go out and register. And if you are registered, get out and vote, whatever it may be, early, absentee voting, whatever it may be, or the day of standing in line, get out and vote. And speaking of being prepared to vote, Today is the vice presidential debate. Here we go. We've got Walz. We've got Vance. So, are you excited about it? Are you interested? Well, I think it's going to be highly viewed. I mean, it's supposed to be expected to be one of the more highly viewed vice presidential debate. Most of it doesn't get high numbers for the viewing, not a lot. But since this is such a contentious and important race, they're expecting high viewing numbers. Now, I'm also quite excited to see what are they going to say. Vance is a little robotic, a little stiff at times. So how's he going to handle live? Is he going to have a little bit of personality? Is it going to look like somebody was giving him a shot of B12 in the background and give him a little bit of energy, some little pep him up a little bit? Now, then you've got the absolute opposite with Waltz. He's very energetic. He's your coach, he's your teacher, he's your cheerleader. He's that guy, he's the one that's always got the smile and the cheer and very enthusiastic. And well, definitely don't get that with Vance, but he does throw out the crazy. Now, just remember, we are still having the clips and the shorts and the memes and the reels from the presidential where Trump said they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets. We're still dealing with those comments. And I got to tell you, every time I see one on like TikTok or Instagram or someone sends me one, I have to stop and still watch it. It just gets me. The facial expressions of the pets, how they clip it with the audio. Awesome. It's great. I love it. Anyway, I still go down that rabbit hole and laugh hysterically with it. So if we're still getting that weeks later, what could we possibly get from the vice presidential debate? And Vance is still doubling down on that. So I'm sorry, Springfield, Ohio, you deserve better. You are a lovely town. And Ohio, Vance is your guy. He's your representative. So he's yours. Sorry. So if anything gets out there that's a little crazy from him or outlandish, and if he still is double or tripling down on the comment about Springfield, sorry, Ohio, he's your guy. But it should be interesting. Let's see how the numbers are tomorrow, what the turnout is. But I definitely think there'll probably be some meme-worthy stuff. Meme-worthy. Can't spit that one out easy. I think so. We shall see. Are we going to hear anything exciting? Don't think so. But, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in real time in the world right now. So it's fluid and constantly just moving, evolving, and active, especially in the Middle East. So some of those questions may come up tonight. I mean, a lot has happened in the last several hours in the Middle East. So that may come into the debate tonight. I think they're probably just going to stick to their rehearsed questions and talking points. We shall see. I think we all know what they're going to discuss, but let's see. Major talking points: immigration, economy, work, all that stuff. So security, healthcare better come up. Insurance better come up. We have got to do better. Taxes, you name it. That's the drill. Those are the selling points. That's the loop they're going to be on. So that's what you need to prepare for yourself. But I hope there's a little something. I hope there's a little bit of some jokes. I'm sure there'll be a few jabs. I don't know if they're going to be cutting the mics like they did in the presidential debate, but hopefully so. But I just want to see. I mean, they are two vastly different personalities, so that alone should be enough to keep my entertainment value for a little bit, my attention span for a bit. But let's see where it goes. But I don't know. I like watching debates. I love a good debate on a good day, a bad day. There's a lot at stake. So I just want to know if he's going to go, Vance going to go unscripted, or because he even said in an interview when somebody was asking, I think I could be wrong, but I think it was with an interview with CNN, and he was saying that it was with Dana Bash, I think it was. And he was saying, if I've got to make stories up to get people talking. So if he's willing to make stories up and fictionalize things for a talking point, anything can really happen tonight. So let's see if he sticks with reality or fiction. Let's see. Now, let's go into one other positive story today in politics. We'll just keep it quick. Jimmy Carter, happy 100th birthday, President Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, the legend, the oldest living president, I think in history, definitely now. But I want to say, I think probably in history. And that man has been in hospice care for a year and a half. Do not count Jimmy out. So Georgia, we are celebrating with you, Jimmy, a tip of the hat. Thank you for your life of service. And and all your volunteering that you work, Habitat for Humanity, all your wonderful organizations, and just being a kind and generous, wonderful man. We are all better to have had you in our life some way, somehow, even if we've never met you, and for those who were born after his presidency, we are all affected to you, even though it was short, which was not fair, in my personal opinion. Um, one of the greats, classy man. So happy 100th birthday, Jimmy. Happy 100th birthday to you. Jimmy, let's see. And also, speaking of going back to talking about like debate and healthcare and insurance and things like that. I don't know if you had a chance, but John Oliver did a one of his shows last week tonight with John Oliver. I love that show. I think it's a great show. But his main topic stories that he discusses, it's usually like 15, 20 minutes. He does weekly review, which is always great. And it's very, comical how he goes through a lot of stories. But the major story of the evening, he did one a couple weeks ago on disabilities and healthcare. And he does a lot. They're always great. He does a lot in the medical field with nursing homes, insurance, transplants. And thank you so much, John Oliver. Not only are you a great show, not only are you hilarious, and but I'm glad that you kind of keep the healthcare industry and the faults of it in your stories and constantly up in topic and subject, because it affects everybody. It is a major bone of contention in my life. Insurance is my nemesis because I have to constantly deal with that and battling with the medical and stuff like that. So, and having somebody in my life that has a disability, and as most people do, it is a constant struggle. So he did a really great episode on that, which I love his show anyway. So all of his stories are very good. If you have a chance, please watch it or follow him. But check out the one that he just recently did on disabilities. There's also one on nursing homes and things like that. The one on disabilities recently was very, very good. And that might give you a better understanding when they start going into the numbers and how they start breaking down health insurance and your rights for healthcare and things like that. So, because all of that will come up in the debates. And if there's anything else, they said there was not going to be another presidential debate, but just in case, if there's another town hall or they have anything like that, Harris or Trump, that'll give you a better understanding and a little bit more background in the healthcare industry. He breaks it down really, really well. And plus he's funny. And I always like his little clips in the middle, which is so funny. So let's get a little bit over to reality TV, and I also have to make some apologies. In our last show, I don't know what was going on with me. I was so tongue-tied. I kept messing up names. I kept twisting things around. So I was talking about the Monsters Netflix special. It was about the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. First of all, I kept calling Lyle Kyle. Apologies. My bad. Really good series. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, go watch it. Javier Bardem, amazing. But the girl who played the attorney, I kept calling her Leslie Abrams. It's Leslie Abramson. I don't know why I was getting the name wrong, but that girl was awesome. She nailed that. Then I also kept calling the politician Mark Robertson. So my apologies. I kept getting everyone's name wrong. But the worst mess up I kept saying last week, and I am so sorry. When I was talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I kept calling Whitney Ashley. Don't know why. I have no idea. I kept seeing Whitney's face. I kept hearing her voice in my head, and I still kept calling her Ashley. So I don't know. Maybe because I was getting so excited talking about Potomac getting ready to come back. Maybe I was thinking about Ashley. That Ashley Ashley Darby instead of Whitney. I don't know, but Whitney, apologies on Salt Lake City. And we'll get to that in just a second. So, but I wanted to go back and apologize for all the mess ups on the names last week. That was my bad. But wow. And so let's go over to a little bit of Diddy. Diddy stuff is still going on. So if you have a chance, I had a late night the other night, couldn't really sleep. So if you have an opportunity, if you really want to get a good understanding of kind of what's going down in the Diddy's case, all the allegations that are coming down the pike against him, there's two. So, what is it? Nightline Impact, or was it Impact on ABC? Impact. They have an Impact series. They did one on Diddy and all the allegations against him. That, I mean, they really had all the court filings and they were really breaking that down. But there was that one. I have to tell you, in the Impact one, he's a reporter on ABC, and he's very serious, adorable, respected, great journalist. Aaron Krasinski, I think his name is. Please, I'm going to apologize if I have his name wrong, but he's very serious, and he does a lot of the court cases and things like that. But he's really good, but very monotone. He's so monotone. He reminds me of my 6th grade algebra teacher. Very monotone. But he's great. Aaron Krasinski, I think is this. But anyway, he kept saying, there was this scene where he was very monotone and discussing all the allegations and what was in the court filings. And he was just talking in his very, very monotone voice that they discovered over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Yes, lubricant. Just hearing him say 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant over and over again in his monotone, staccato, still kind of voice, I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't get it off. I'm like, rewind. It was just great. That should be a meme itself. I mean, come on. But anyway, so that was a really good one. And they really have the details. And of course, they go through the Cassie video, which is always, I don't care how many times they show it, how much they clip out. It is hard to stomach watching that video. Ugh. And then if you have a chance, this one's a really good one too. There's two. TMZ did one several weeks ago on the fall of Diddy. And then they did another one on the indictment, the rise and fall of Diddy, the indictment, something, the title is like that. And that is a very good documentary. I think it's on Tubi. And I mean, Harvey Levin was actually interviewing one of Diddy's attorney, which I am shocked that his attorney was even doing an interview. And I'm just going to state that Diddy is still denying everything, claiming his innocence. These are all allegations, and innocent until proven guilty. Just feel like I need to say this. They are all allegations. And Diddy, again, is declaring his innocence. But the fact that his attorney was interviewing, and he said that there is a very, very strong possibility that Diddy could take the stand. Crazy. To me, the fact that Diddy could take the stand is absolutely crazy to me. But hey, it could happen. Could definitely happen. And denied bail. So he is actually trying to get another court hearing to appeal the bail, him being denied for bail, and trying to see if he can get bail again to get out before his court case, because that could be months away. I have heard it could be June. Who knows? I know that his attorneys are requesting a speedy trial, and as they are allowed to. I mean, June's a long time, and from what I understand, that actual place where he is being held, and I think he said it's in Brooklyn, it's relatively a little rough, for lack of better words, but God, it could be rough. So he is again fighting for bail, and we shall see if it'll happen. Is it a third time? I think it's his third time that he's trying for bail. So we'll see. But I mean, it's already been a shot down a few times, so we shall see if this is going to happen. It's a long shot. It could happen. I think I've read that he was actually had some new attorneys coming in to appeal this bail hearing. So let's see if anything comes differently. I mean, like I said, denied a few times. So shot in the dark, but anything could happen. So P. Diddy. But every time, I swear, I turn on the news, there's something new about Diddy coming out, and there's more accusers, I don't know about more allegations from that one from the Southern District of New York. But my goodness, every time you turn, there's something else that's coming out, and there's a new accuser, something. And how many people are freaked out about the freak offs, right? How many people in celebrities, entertainment world, music industry, anybody who, I mean, thank God, a lot of this, it was pre-YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, because everybody who was anybody back in the day that got an invite to one of his white parties is freaking out. Was I in that video? Was I in the after party? Was I in the upstairs room? If you were, you want to make sure you are not on a video, film, anything. And from what is coming out, he liked to film everything. And that's what's going to get him in trouble is the video. People, you don't take videos. You don't take pictures. Anything you don't want out there, you don't put out there. Okay? That stuff at all. Don't put that stuff out there. Just saying. So we shall see. It's going to be interesting, but people are probably freaking out, trying to get quiet, trying to tiptoe, backpedal a little bit out of that situation. But if you were at one of those parties, you might be getting a call. Just saying. And Ashton Kutcher, you're in a lot of that. Every time I see a picture, Ashton Kutcher's in it. So, I mean, you're getting a call from the FBI and New York and Gloria Allred and any other attorney who's representing anybody. Ashton Kutcher, you are getting that call because he's literally in every clip, every photo, every video clip, everything. It's a lot. So let's see, Diddy. I mean, they've got to have a lot. I mean, it was months. I mean, that is his houses, the LA and Miami home were raided months ago. So I can't even imagine how much evidence the DA, the FBI, all that have. I hope that cameras are in the courtroom. And I bet you they will be. I would be shocked that they wouldn't be and the cameras wouldn't be in the courtroom. I would be shocked. I hope they are. If they are, I'm going to be watching. I do hope that to protect the rights of some, because there's a lot of sex trafficking, sex crime allegations. I'm hoping that they're discreet and to keep the privacy for some of the witnesses and some of the names that will be coming out. I mean, but my God, it's going to be, I mean, it's wide range from sex trafficking to embezzling to arson to weapons. I mean, like racketeering. Isn't there like mob like charges? Whoa. So, I mean, it's all going to come out. You name it. You're going to have it's going to be a mix between Johnny Depp, Gotti, all the stuff that you've seen go on all the stuff that's been on Netflix lately, all those celebrity court case trials there and those FX true crime stories. It's all going to be wrapped into one, and that's just the Diddy case. Because once that stuff, cameras are going to be rolling, then I can't wait to see the Netflix special about it. There's going to be one on Hulu, you know it. There's going to be one on Peacock, and I'm going to watch all of them. It's going to be insane, insane. That's going to wow. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for cameras to be in the courtroom. I mean, it's going to be like an episode of The Sopranos. It is. I think so. I think so. Right? And that was a great show. That was a great show. I love that show. If you haven't ever watched that show, watch The Sopranos. Watch The Wire. That is a great show. I know it made a huge comeback. I think that show came on, like, both of those shows came on about 20 years ago, but it had a big resurgence during COVID when we were all stuck at home and watching TV. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Can't recommend them enough. Sopranos, The Wire. You know what? The P. Diddy trial is going to be like both of those. It's going to be The Wire and The Sopranos all wrapped in one with a court TV feel. Here for it. Here for it. My heart goes out to the victims. I mean, it sounds awful. Awful. And you know that everybody's eyes are going to be on the prison guards, the prison system, the jail after what happened to Epstein. What happened there? I mean, geez, he was on suicide watch. I don't know if he was still is on suicide watch. He was for several days, even though his lawyers came out and said he wasn't feeling suicidal. I guess that was the procedure. I'm fascinated by this, but I mean, wow, what a downfall. But here's the other thing. Here's the other question. P. Diddy is an amazing and talented artist. I love his music. A ton of his music's on my playlist. I love him. He's great. I've never really liked him as a person. He seemed always real like a dick. He seemed like a huge dick. And there's been rumors out for a long time that he's just, he is. He's hard to work with. He's complicated. He flies off the handle. You see the videos of him flying off the handle. But he's, as a performer, as an artist, great. So how do you now, that's the big question. Can you still play him? How do you separate the artist from the potential criminal, right? He's great. I think he's amazing. I think he's absolutely incredible as an artist. I love him. Am I still going to play his music? Absolutely. Am I still going to be working out to him in the background? Yeah. And plus he collaborates with so many other artists that are fantastic. So then not only do you not hear his music, then you have to cancel out all the other artists that he's collaborated with, which is a ton of artists. So, I mean, his catalog of work is huge. And that's just it's not fair. Personally, I don't think it's fair to the world of music, but it's not fair to the other artists that he's collaborated with, that it's still great work. So, I mean, it's like Michael Jackson and a lot of other musicians that have had legal issues and all that, have been accused of other things. But as an artist, I'm still going to listen to his music. And if I'm out on the dance floor, I'm still going to be dipping in, doing it to his music, that if the DJ's still playing it. And I hope the DJs still play it too. I hope the DJs aren't conflicted. I hope that they're not out there playing a music or playing a song and suddenly people on the dance floor start yelling at them. It's just a song. We all still like Michael Jackson. I still rock out to Michael Jackson. I love it. Now, when Pretty Young Thing comes on, PYT, I'll start singing it and then I gotta stop because it takes on a whole, it's just different now. But thank God Thriller's still out there. He's one of the best as well. So, I mean, you can't cancel everyone. I guess you have to separate their performance from the person. You have to each their own, but I mean, I'm still going to have him on my workout playlist. He's a good artist. He is a great artist. Seems like a dick. It's been out there for years that he's a dick. And well, he's going to be a dick. So Diddy, we're all going to wait and see. And you're going to be waiting and see from your cell until you either A, are allowed bail or wait for your court case. Now, let's get over to a little bit of TV. Oh, let me also say one other thing. Let me get back. Let's say our condolences to the family and friends of Pete Rose. Pete Rose, the famous baseball player, has passed. And, when I was listening to his stats today, I mean, I grew up my whole life, hearing Pete Rose just try to get inducted to the Hall of Fame, trying to put his scandal behind him of his gambling scandal, and never happened for him. And which is crazy to me because, I mean, with all the other sports scandals and all the other people that, especially with the steroids and everything else, and now the gambling's legal, not in your own team and not if you're a coach. It just shocked me that on some level they never let Pete Rose in. And when I was hearing his stats today, I mean, you just forget because it's been so long. He really was one of the greatest of all time in Major League Baseball. He really was before the roids, and before all the others. I mean, he was the king of scandal, but before the roids and all the other performance enhancing drug things, and training and stuff like that, he was one of the greatest. So, a loss to the sports world. If he does get inducted years down the road, he should, I mean, if he can put other people in there with an asterisk beside their name, why can't you put an asterisk beside his name? In my opinion, yes, what he did was wrong. He owned up to it. He definitely, I think, was punished for it for decades. I mean, he definitely felt the pain of his punishment, and he was still great. You can't, again, separating the player from the scandal. He was still one of the best players ever. Yeah, I mean, he messed up bad. And they still keep flashing back to the 2004 interview with Charlie Gibson where he was like, he confessed, yes, I gambled. Charlie Gibson asked him, did you gamble against your own team? Yes, I did, which in that interview was the first time he ever really admitted it. He denied it, and especially against his own team. And he finally came clean. He's like, yeah, I should have admitted it a long time ago, and I'm guilty. So I think he served his time. I think he should be allowed in again. If you want to put his asterisk behind it, beside his name, that's fine. Do that. But I'm sorry, he wasn't alive to actually see it. He fought a valiant fight for many years to get his name in here. It didn't happen. But Pete Rose, you were one of the best of all time, and we salute you. And to his friends, family, our condolences to you. So Pete Rose. And there was another thing I wanted to also, I'll come back to it. There was another sports story I wanted to get into, but I'll come back to that one as well. So don't worry, we'll get into it. There's just so much. But I also want to say congratulations to the, I live in the mid-Atlantic area, but I also want to give a shout out to the Commanders and the Ravens. They actually had a great weekend. It's been a long time for them. They need this area, the mid-Atlantic and the DC area needed a win. Go DC, go Baltimore. Congratulations to you. So now let's get into some of our entertainment, our television. So like I was telling you, get ready tonight. You've got the vice presidential debate. Watch that. Also, if not, let's go over to the Bravo world. Let's watch some Salt Lake City. So what are you thinking in the new season of Salt Lake City? The Real Housewives of Salt Lake. So Whitney, sorry, I won't call you Ashley this week, but Whitney. Everybody's going after Whitney. Everybody's got a bone to chew with Whitney. So everybody last week ganged up on Whitney at the dinner because they were pissed and because of all the, this shit she stirred over the years and lies that she's told and everything like that. So that's where we left off. Everybody was going after Whitney. So the beginning of this episode, we're all coming over it. Meredith is still complaining about the bath bomb situation. So you see her with her kids, they're making their new formula for the bath bombs, and she's still going off about that. And then she wants to talk about how now she really wants to get back in touch with her Jewish faith. And as an adult, she wants to be bar mitzvahed. So, the kids were asking about that, and, there you go. So let's get into, there's a lot of conversations going on. You see the new girl, Bronwyn, and her relationship with her husband, her older husband, who's 26 years older than her. You hear about their stories. You see their designer, because they've lived in that house for a while, and she loves fashion. She loves design. She loves art, and together it looks like somebody vomited a psychedelic bag of Jolly Ranchers, in my opinion. It is a lot. It looks like somebody puked Jolly Ranchers on a tie-dye spin wheel. It's everywhere. And you see, it's just everything, everywhere, all at once, happening in this house. And you see this interior designer walk in. And he's like, what is happening? What is happening here? Oh my God. And rightfully so. It's shocking. It's shocking. It is a pop to the eyes. It's a pop to the senses. And then she whips out this art piece that she had. And she's like, there's one in the Guggenheim. I don't know what you paid for it, but you obviously overpaid. It was a stack. I don't know. It looks like old restaurant chairs. Maybe it's like, if anybody's ever worked in a restaurant, all the chairs that they stack in the back of the house, in the back of the restaurant, by the dumpsters, or, where you'd always see everybody on Vanderpump Rules in the back smoking and everything like that. Well, that's what you see. It's all these like weird kind of broken like chairs, and they're like stuck together by the back of their frames. And I think I couldn't really tell if there was like words of inspiration or something written on the side. I couldn't really tell, but something like that. And it not my style, not at all, but I don't know. She liked it, and she was saying there's one in the Guggenheim. Well, great. Again, I don't know what you paid for it, but you overpaid. And just throw something else on there that poor man, the designer, is going to have to get rid of. Like, I can't even imagine. Did anyone ever see that show, The House of Versailles, which is like one of the wealthiest families in the U.S., and they live in Florida, and she was making her own Versailles mansion that was taking years, and it's had all these setbacks, and all these designers have come and gone and left because she's just a mess. She's very sporadic and very scattered with her taste. And she's a hoarder essentially as well. And you name it, she just has money. So wherever she goes, she's picking up stuff, and it's just eclectic and too much tchotchkes, and it's clutter. It's clutter, and there's no rhyme or reason or theme or anything. It's just, that's what this kind of reminds me of. That's what I'm like, where's Jeff Lewis when you need him? But it was a lot. So you see her relationship, and I'm not, again, I've talked about this. I'm not liking Heather this season at all. I'm really not liking Heather. Yeah, I don't like it. She had a good run. She had a really good run. Now she looks great. Her glow up is great, but her ego's definitely gotten to her. Her head is too big now. And, I don't think she's coming off nice, likable, or any of that. And too scripted. I like the new girl Bronwyn, like I said. The new girl Brittany, that it is Brittany, right? I think it's Brittany. Yes. Brittany, and she's the one that is dating the Osmond, Jared Osmond, which is royalty in the Mormon world, royalty. I don't get that. I don't like royalty in the first place, but definitely not Donnie and Marie royalty. But hey, I guess in the Mormon life, that's it. Um, she is a hot mess. A hot mess. And let me get back to her. There's a new girl who's a friend of Maylee. Is it Maylee? She's so quiet. The only thing we ever hear of her in this episode is you see her at the restaurant in the first episode, where everybody's ganging up on Whitney and yelling at her, and she just looks shell shocked, just stunned, like deer in the headlights, stunned. But you don't really hear much of her. You hear a little bit of her this week because they do one of those major large rope obstacle course things, where you have to get harnessed in, and I hate those, friends. I hate them. I don't like them. I don't need that trust building exercise where anything that I have to be harnessed in and strapped on and sign a waiver, I'm out. Been there, done that. I did have to be rescued from one once. Full disclosure, and friends who know me know that story, but yes, I had to be rescued from one once. Okay, somebody had to come get me down. I don't like them. I don't like them. But they did one of those, and you hear, is it Maylee the whole time going, "You got it, sis, sis." So everybody was giving her a hard time about using the word sis over and over and over and over again. And that's, I mean, I think if they didn't mention that, I would have had no idea who this girl even was at all. I had no idea. So there's that. But in this episode, you get a little bit into it. So they do this rope course. All the girls get together. They do this rope course, this challenging, this obstacle course. Then they get together and get to a food truck, and they're sitting down at this picnic table. And the new girl, Brittany, stands up and says, "I have a big announcement to make. My boyfriend Jared and I are back on again," because they broke up. They've been together several months and they've broken up a ton of times. So seems healthy. So she stands up and says, "I have an announcement. We're back together, and it is now Instagram official." Well, Lisa and some of the other girls were like, "Really?" Because I saw it on Instagram and that didn't seem very official to me. You're essentially at Costco and he's pushing you around in a cart in this picture. And he says, "Sometimes you just have to manage Costco with your best friend." Now, he's not recognizing that you're in a couple, you're, you know, that you're Instagram official. He's saying that you're Instagram friends, essentially. So they're all calling him out saying, "This guy's shady and he's kind of playing you, and it just seems a little sus," right? And she gets upset, and Mary, oh, Mary Cosby, chimes in and it's like, "Well, why do we care? Why do we even care?" Which, you know, why do we care? I don't give a shit about this guy. I'm kind of with Mary on this one. And Mary says, "Well, why do we even care?" Well, and then Mary gets into this heartfelt story, which I think out of all the seasons, anytime she's ever told a story, this one really resonated with me. And this one, like, you could tell, like, it struck a chord with Mary. So when Brittany was telling the story about there's discord in her family, and evidently she has a very turbulent relationship with her daughters, where her daughters do not talk to her. Maybe it's following the divorce from her husband, her daughter's father, whatever it may be, but her daughters do not speak with her. So Mary was saying, "Well, why don't you fix your relationship with your daughters before you worry about this guy?" And because that is the most important thing, not this guy, because this guy obviously isn't that into you. And she's like, "Mary, that's not nice. You can't say that." And Mary's like, "You don't understand. This really hit a chord with me. This really struck a nerve with me because my mom," and there was a ton of us kids, "my mom was more concerned about a guy, who she was dating, and who she's going to spend the time with more than her kids. And here we know we needed to be fed, we needed to be clothed, we need to be taken care of. And you neglected those duties, but you were completely, into your guy. And that took the precedent, that took your priority. And screw kids. And Mary came snap back with that one. And interesting, which is, first thought, I thought interesting, Mary, because you did marry your grandmother's husband. So interesting thing there. And I think that, wasn't it Mary's mother or sister? Somebody was supposed to marry the grandmother's husband, but they got skipped over and Mary got him. I don't remember who it was, but it was someone in Mary's family, but Mary got him. But Mary married the step granddaddy. So immediately I was like, that's weird, because you did marry your step grandfather. But it was interesting how she kind of went into a little bit of her family story, the root of a little bit of her pain, and why she was, immediately like snap back at Brittany. And I'm glad somebody did, because it was it was really nonsense. And you're a friend of Brittany, too much too soon. And Bronwyn, the new girl, and Mary don't like you. And then Bronwyn comes in, like, you didn't really come across in a good way. You didn't come off in a bright light. You didn't come off friendly, charming, or engaging. You came off rough. And Bronwyn started with that, which, watching you, Bronwyn, I think you've already talked your shit. And I think it's all going to come out. It's all going to come out. She's a little shady. I like her. I like that she's going to stir the shit. I like she's going to stir the pot a little bit. But we're watching you, Bronwyn. You're shady and all your couture-ness. She's little, but I like her so far. I find she entertaining. And I like that when they, how Heather was trying to throw Bronwyn under the bus about saying shit about Whitney. And Whitney's like, no. She told me that straight to my face. So I do like that. She'll tell you to your face. Not only behind your back, but she'll also tell you to your face. So I do like that. Lisa, I feel like everybody's got to leave Lisa alone a little bit this year. She's going through stuff. She's empty nesting right now with Jack. He's in Colombia and she's having a hard time. Give her a little moment. And I like Lisa. So I like it. Everybody leave her alone. Everybody's been after Lisa too much in the last couple seasons. Okay, you have a point. You can come after, but just enough. I think everybody take a breath on Lisa. I hope they take a step back. Now, I love me some Angie K. I love her very choppy voice. I love it. I like her. I like her husband, Sean. And who am I forgetting? I said Heather. Meredith. We'll see. I'm a little, I find Meredith really boring. But my favorite's still Scene. If we can do this a little bit more often, although I know Bravo's not trying to promote this, if we could give Mary a drink, because she doesn't like to talk about the husband. Remember? That was still the best one. Now, thank you, Salt Lake City. It's been a good one. So hopefully we will have that if you don't want to watch the vice presidential debate. Now, I'm just going to skim over it real quick. OC. Somebody throw Shannon on a life raft. Someone, she needs a buoy. Someone throw her a life ring. She needs it. I feel bad for her. Get Alexis off. Somebody please get Alexis off. And okay, Emily, Gina, over it. I'm over it. I said again, I'm actually liking Heather. Where's Vicky? Where is Vicky? I need Vicky. So, not a great season, in my opinion. I'm just going to glaze over just as quick as I can about OC. Not my favorite season, but bring Vicky on and I'll be back to talk about it. Now, going to be name it quickly, go through a quick lineup. This Sunday, so I talked about the Mid-Atlantic area. The Real Housewives of Potomac is coming back on. It's airing. We got a new season. Candace is out. We've got 2 new ladies on. The other ladies are back. You got Wendy, you got Karen, you got Ashley, you've got Mia. So it's going to be a good one. Did I forget anybody? Giselle. Don't forget Giselle. It's going to be a good one. I am going to miss Candace. I liked Candace, but she didn't really bring much this last year. So this Sunday, Potomac is coming back. Another season. I'm excited. Let's bring it. You can go online and catch a trailer if you want to. Potomac. I'm here for it. Watch the cherry blossoms. And I think it's November 1st, The Real Housewives of Miami. Yes, it's coming back. I think I was reading that it's supposed to premiere on November the 1st. Very excited. Miami's been bringing it. I am sad to see Dr. Nicole go. She's not airing. I think she started recording the first few seasons. She just had a baby. She did release a statement that she said that she had a baby. The baby was actually premature. I think she said it was premature or was in the NICU unit. It may not be premature, but she was saying that the baby was in the NICU unit for her first few weeks. She was really going through a lot of postpartum depression. Totally understandable. She's got 2 small kids. She's got her fiance. I don't know if they ever got married, who has a ton of money as an attorney. She got yacht money. She got mansion money. She's doing all right. And she's a doctor. So she has a pretty serious job as well. So she said she was taking a step back from filming. It's unfortunate. I really liked her. I thought she was cute. I thought she was witty and she was smart. So it was nice to have her on the show. It'll be interesting to see Alexis and Todd. They're going through a divorce. We got Adriana. We have, and Julia and Martina. They did announce several months ago that they did go through the adoption process and did adopt some children. I think they got 2. And I'm excited. I love Miami. Whom else? Yes. And of course, you have Pippen, Larsa Pippen. She broke up with her boyfriend. So let's see what that story is. We'll probably hear about the breakup and how she's back in the dating scene. So Miami, I'm excited for you. November the 1st, that's when it's supposed to air. Bringing down the pike. We should have the Traders coming up soon. That should be airing. Tamara from OC was on it last year. Phaedra. Atlanta should be coming on soon too. Yes. Miss Phaedra. Beverly Hills should be airing towards the end of the year. So wow. Powerhouse Bravo is bringing it. And it's great. So everybody else has been telling me that I need to watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I will watch it. I have been holding off. And I'll tell you why. I have been holding off a little bit because back in the day, somebody told me to watch, quite a few people told me to watch, was it Sister Wives? And I did a little bit. And I hated that guy, Cody. I fucking hated that guy. Like, I wanted to throw things at the TV every time I saw that man. I couldn't stand him, hated him. And there's so many things that really upset me and disturbed me about that show. So I thought it was going to be something like that. So I haven't watched it. Everyone has told me it is not. So they're like, you got to go watch it. It's really, really good. So, all right, I'll go watch it. I will watch it. I will bring it to you. There's some new stuff coming out on Netflix. But on Disney Disney Plus app, that Inside Out 2 has just been released. And if you have not seen it, I watched this weekend with my daughter. It's really hard for sequels to be as good as the second one or the first one, the original. It's pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to say it's 100% as good as the first one, but it's up there. It's great. You have a lot of the same personalities or the characters that came back. You have anger, joy, sadness, disgust, but then you also have embarrassment, anxiety. Who was the other one? There was another one. Empathy. Was it Empathy movie? I don't know. Great cast, Great story. Riley was, hitting puberty, and great movie. So if you haven't seen that one, that's out on Disney Plus. So as we conclude today, guys, tell me what you think about the vice presidential debate. I'm sure we'll probably see some memes. Let's see. We're going to see what we'll see on there tomorrow. I hope they lay off Springfield. They need a break, and get out and vote. If for those who are still considered to be undecided, write down your hot points, fact check, do your research, get out and vote. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today on Polywine. It's been great chatting with you. If you have any thoughts, ideas, anything you want me to watch, please go to Instagram and follow me on Polywine Time and catch the podcast wherever you get your feed. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.